It's in Revelations, the 12th chapter, and from the 10th to the 17th verse, and you get an opportunity, you go there and read that. But the word standard means that we get to a place of safety, that God is driving along with us, and we are going to escape by riding the crest of the wave of that flood. See, when the enemy comes in like a flood, floods that water to you, you are going to survive it by riding the crest of that wave, not being swept under, sucked under, or overcome, but you will. And I thought, how can I really impress you with this? And I thought, okay, we're going to ride the surfboard of faith on the crest of the flood. You're just going to get on your surfboard, whether you've never rode one before in your life, or whether you're afraid of water or not. You're going to jump on this surfboard of faith, and you're going to ride the crest of that flood. Amen. It wasn't said to overcome us. The enemy wants us to fear him, and when fear comes, faith fails, and you will fall off your surfboard into these tumultuous waters that are trying to destroy you. Now, Lucifer, the devil, had this knowledge before he was cast out of heaven, but it all became corrupt by the intensity of the trauma of that journey. That knowledge he had before is the same we had before we were formed in our mother's womb, because God said, I knew you before. That's sinking a little bit to you. Amen. That God's saying, I knew you a long time ago. And furthermore, he would say, when I knew you way back there, you were as smart as Lucifer. You had all the knowledge that Lucifer had. You had all the wisdom that he had. And we had all of that knowledge up until the time of our birth. In other words, when you were that little tadpole swimming around in your mother's womb, you had all the knowledge of heaven. And when you begin to form into the little person that God ordained you to be formed into in your mother's womb, and while you were in that, even in that watery place, and your mother sang to you and hummed to you, and your father patted you on your mother's belly, and you felt all that, you knew all that, and you had all the knowledge of the heavens. You had all the knowledge that when God formed everything that was formed, and he said, let there be light, you were there and you knew and understood and had that knowledge. And you had it until the trauma of your birth. Now, theologians can dispute with me all they want, and you can dispute with me all that you want, but I know what I know. And some of the knowing things that we know astound the wisdom of the wise. They don't understand how we got there. They don't understand how we understand what we understand. But they don't know what we understand. And because they don't know what we do, they don't understand how we got the knowledge that we got. So I got up to the trauma of your birth. And the trauma of that birth process buried knowledge in you so deep. The trauma of that birth didn't destroy it or didn't corrupt it, but it buried it in you so deep that you don't even know you have it. You've got it. You've got all the knowledge that it takes to survive anything that the enemy brings against you. Whatever, sickness, death, life, poverty, riches, you have the knowledge in you to survive all of that. But you just don't know you got it because it has been buried so deep in us that we are not aware of its existence in us. So to defeat this enemy, we must come to the understanding so that we can release that knowledge to defeat the devil. Because it is not your brain that defeats the devil. It's not your ability. It's not the knowledge that you've learned by going to school and getting a BA or a PhD or a DD or whatever you want to put behind your name. The devil is not afraid of those things. He'll look you in the eye and say, yeah, that doesn't mean a thing to me. But when you begin to operate in this knowledge that you have in you, even now, you will put the enemy on the run because he cannot stand that spiritual knowledge. He cannot stand against it. And when you fill yourself with the Spirit of God and you come to the understanding that this knowledge is in you and you begin to rise up in it and you begin to release it and let it bring forth its fruit, it will put the enemy on the run. We're going to defeat the enemy today. Not by knowledge gained from the books that we have read. And some of the books that you and I have read have been very good books. We need that type of understanding in us. But that's not what puts the devil on the run. You can say, oh, I read the book of whatever. Put the name, I'll leave it blank, you put the name in there. I read the book of A.A. Allen. Do you think that scares the devil? That you read A.A. Allen's life history or Branham's history? I tell you what, the devil wasn't afraid of Allen and he wasn't afraid of Branham. But when they began to operate in that knowledge that they had before they came into this world, the enemy trembled. Not at A.A. Allen or William Branham or Catherine Kuhlman or Jack Parker or put your name in there. But he trembles at the knowledge that begins to manifest itself that is so beyond our capabilities of learning. We don't learn it, we just operate in it. Because when it begins to manifest itself, it manifests itself in its full knowledge. Not just part, but all of it. But we have to learn how to set it free, how to release it. Well, some of you don't even know you got it. Some of you do not even understand that you have this knowledge in you. And you're fighting the devil with everything that you got, but it proves my point when we say, I just can't get victory. I just can't get deliverance. I just can't get set free from it. Because you're trying to fight with your own carnal understanding and knowledge, and you can quote John 3:16 until you fall